Today we're going to talk about the iPhone tracking software that we discovered hidden on the phones, and how we found it and what we think it means.
Yep.
So we were looking for things to visualize.
Yeah, we just finished doing some visualizations of the Fukushima accident, and we were looking for cool stuff to do, I guess. We'd just gone to the Strata conference, of course, and a couple of months back, and something Toby said during one of the keynotes in the morning had kicked off a train of thought for me, which was mobile data, which is, what are you carrying around in your phone that we don't already know about? And I know you had similar.
Yeah, like I've been looking at like contacts, how you could visualize contacts, how you could visualize your friends on Twitter, how you could visualize your your face. I've done various different interactive maps, so I was pretty curious to see if any of your contact information was accessible on your phone to do an easy visualization like that.
So of course under iOS that's not programmatically accessible on the device because of the sandboxing. So I started poking around inside the backups on the Mac, and I actually stumbled across a directory called that's actually named Location D. And I thought, well, that looks interesting. So I had to poke around in there, and I came across something called consolidated.db, which was full of latitudes and longitudes and timestamps, and cell IDs.
And was just a plain SQLite file.
Plain SQLite file, yeah.
And of course, the interesting thing about the backups is that you don't get to see the file names.
Yeah.
Just by default, you actually have to do a little bit of digging. Yeah,
there's a manifest file in each of your backups that basically will tell you the translation between the 40-digit hex string, which is what all the files are digitized to, and the actual file name on the device.
Right.
So we parsed out the manifest file and had a look through this, and it was interesting stuff. And I thought, well, that's going to look quite good on a map. We'll plot it up.
And the initial thought was, maybe this is just a couple of days worth of data. This is just a cache showing a little bit of data, and we might be able to show something interesting on a map.
Yeah, maybe combine it with like the recent voicemails or the
your Flickr photos.
The Flickr photos. Yeah. And it turned out to be pretty much a year's worth of data for every cell that we've been through since we upgraded to iOS 4. Yeah,
so that was. We started off, you found this, you let me know, we both started looking at it in the database view. We realized how much,
actually let's go ahead and open that file.
Yeah, that would be a good point to open up the database here and just...
So this is the consolidated DB file here, and as you can see you've got a whole bunch of tables inside it. You get CDMA tables, and you also have straight cell tables. There's also some Wi-Fi information and various other things. So the main table we're looking at here is the cell location table. And if we look at the schema, we have the MCC, MNC, LAC, and CI, which will tell you the operator and country code of you're actually using, and also the cell ID of the actual specific cell. And then there's the timestamp and a latitude and longitude. There's also horizontal accuracy, which I haven't quite figured out what exactly it means. And the rest of these seem to be default figures. I don't think any of them have any information in. So we're actually go to the data. You can see that down here there's 28,138 rows in this table. And that basically spreads through about 293 days, which is pretty much the entire time I've been on iOS 4.
So it's about, what's that, about 100 points an hour, 100 points a day?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's quite a lot of data there.
And of course, the thing that startled me was the fact that this has survived through multiple devices. My original iOS 4 device was an iPhone 3GS. And I've had two iPhone 4s since then, because I dropped one in the concrete a couple of weeks back. So this database actually persists through backup restores of your backup.
And the other thing the thing that we didn't actually plot, but that was also interesting, was if you go down to the Wi-Fi.
Ah, yes.
Because while the accuracy of these positions doesn't seem to be nearly as good, if you look down at the bottom, you can see there's almost 220,000 data points that have been gathered with timestamps and the IDs of the Wi-Fi networks.
Yep.
And the estimated lat longs.
Yep. So you actually got in the first column here the MAC address of the Wi-Fi access point, along with timestamps and the latitude and longitude. The latitude and longitudes aren't particularly accurate. I mean, I know apparently I've been in South America quite a lot over the last year, and it's certainly news to me, and I'm sure it'll be news to many people that know me.
Yeah, I did try visualizing this briefly, and then decided that it was so full of bogus locations.
You ended up in Florida, didn't you?
Yes, which I've always wanted to go to Florida.
Well, there we go. So I figure that either it's in the DB wrongly, as in, because whatever DB they look up for the triangulation, it's like the Wi-Fi access point has moved, which would be all right for the Florida one, but it doesn't actually. I don't understand the South America one at that point.
But it still has the ID of the Wi-Fi network, which is pretty,
yes,
identifiable information. So.
There's also a couple of other interesting things in here. There's the Compass Calibration Database, which has timestamps and measurements of the local magnetic field, which I think is pretty cool as a physicist.
Oh, yeah.
And also the magnitude and inclination of the field. So this will actually give away every time you fire up a map application, because it's going to use the GPS.
Yeah.
Or were they using the compass to do the, where it gives a little cone where you can rotate it round.
So every time you were lost.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that. That's
we should add that to the application.
There you go.
There we go. There's other couple of things in here. There's, I know one of the interesting things about iOS 4 is the geofencing capabilities. This is actually blank because I've never run any apps that actually have any geofencing capabilities. But presumably what's going to be in this database is the squares that you tell